Hey everyone, Lance here and welcome back to the channel. I was unsure whether or not I wanted to release my last video regarding TCGs because I've had a lot to think about since I put it out there, and we can get into that later on. But anyway, you joined me after the weekend and yeah, it's been an eventful end of the week. Some good news and yeah, just spent time on my day off again thinking about the business and going about looking for potential upgrades for future, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick the orders that came in late Saturday over Sunday, and there was one this morning as well. I'm going to pick those orders, let Suzanne package them, and while she's doing that, we can talk about how last week ended, a little bit more about TCGs and some more business stuff. So let's get to it. This is the first order. Somebody has ordered the last battalion box for Cathay that we have, which is cool. Still got a chunk of stuff left. We've got some Sentinels up there, as well as the other army stuff. But not done as bad as I originally thought it was going to do. It's good to have some old world stuff in stock anyway, but we're out of battalion boxes now. Got no more of the Sky Lantern left for now, so yeah, I need to get one of them in at some point. But yeah, another battalion box sold. Whilst I'm here, somebody bought issue 43 of Combat Patrol, our last one. So I get this question quite frequently, so I'll answer it here. Combat Patrol magazines and about that. So a lot of people ask, like, do I stock them? Do I get them from Hachette directly and stuff like that? No, I don't. I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but what I do, I have a personal subscription with it, and I joined, I think, at around about issue 29 or 30, so a good chunk into the run, right? They'd already done the Tyranid and the Space Marine stuff, and I believe they were on Eldari then, and then it went to Chaos Space Marine. So I joined there, and then what I would do is when I go out to do my weekly shop at a supermarket, if they have any of the issues in stock, I will grab them and bring them to the store. Now, I know a lot of people buy, instead of one issue, they'll buy all of them, and then they'll go on eBay and they'll jack up the price because, case in point this week, I think it's issue 43. That's £10 for a set of, I think it's Orc Boys, and that's something that I would usually run you around about 30, I think, if I remember right off the top of my head. Don't go too deep into these prices, I have no idea. But it's it's a massive saving, right? But they'll go up and they'll take that £10 magazine and they'll put it on eBay for like 20 or 25. So you're still getting a discount, but it's nowhere near as good as if you were to just buy it off the shelf. Now, that type of stuff, price gouging and scalping, does hurt me a little. So I will buy those magazines, I will bring them to a hobby store like this, and the hobbyists will find it, yeah? Rather than, some guy scalping them. Yes, I'm buying them all, but I'm not selling them on for any more than I pay for it. Plus, if in the grand scheme of things, for every transaction I do, I take a hit because I need to pay transactional fees. So when I put it in store for $9.99 and I've purchased it for $9.99, guess what? I pay fees on that $9.99. I actually make a loss. It's purely for me. I'm not saying I'm sanctimonious or anything like that, but it's just it's so that the community actually gets it. I'm sure there's some people who are buying it online who might end up selling it on, but at least, the hope is more people are buying it legitimately than not, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can't, I've asked Hachette if I could actually get some of the stock, and you can't if you've joined partway through a run. So when the next magazine comes out, which will probably be an Age of Sigmar magazine, I will want to get that, or at least get a couple of copies direct from them at a wholesale price to then sell on in store at the regular price. So I'm not actually losing money on it. So, watch this space. I'll see next time a run starts. We can wish for the best, right? Somebody ordered 2 sets of brushes and 2 of the brush holders for their grandkids. They live abroad and of course their grandkids live in the UK. So thank you very much for that. I will be sure to send your grandkids some more miniatures so they've got something to paint. Thanks. Someone's got mystery dice bag, and then also some Duncan Rose paints. So it's fur cloak, cuirass leather, and boarhide, which if you look at the way the Duncan Rose Tooth and Coats paints are set up, you've got the shadow, the mid-tone, and the highlight. So these three, this is a triad. It's a great way of setting them up. This person also asked for an Epics'N'Stuffs mystery bag, so they'll be on your way to you soon. Thanks for that. Okay, so orders are picked. Suzanne will start packing shortly. Let's talk about that TCG video. Now, everything in the video still stands, per se. I feel like rewatching it again now that maybe I came across as a bit too, I don't know, a bit too pessimistic about cards in general. That's not the case. It's just that, again, they're possibly not good at this moment. But over the weekend, looking again at bigger places and thinking about the story in general and what would come next. So I'm obviously still going to buy more miniatures and miniature games, but some space will become available in the very near future once I've sold through a couple of clearance lines, and that space would probably be ideal for some cards, possibly. So, and to coincide with this, we've just got another distributor that's allowed us to make an account with them, and they sell trading cards. We do have a distributor now that does it, but the doors are closed on trading cards for them at this moment in time. So the hope is this other distributor will allow us to purchase some. Now, some distributors I know will want like you to buy shed loads, which we might not even be in the position to do really, because we've just got, so we're buying other lines as a priority. But it could be the case where, if possible, we might buy like some booster boxes or something like that, I feel. I just need to do a little bit more research, and when the time comes, when the account's finalised and we place our first order, there's a minimum that you need to order, i.e. the minimum transactional value. There's some miniatures from them that I want, but there's also, I could make up some of the order with a couple of booster boxes. We'll see. I'm not sure entirely how they work yet. We need to wait for their call. Talking about the end of last week, so last week was quite strong through the middle of the week. The weekend was a bit tepid for all intents and purposes, but overall it was a good week, right? You know, it's trending positively, and the good thing now is I'm starting to get analytics that line up with the month prior, right? Because we've had our first month, so we can actually take obviously we can take week to date figures and analytics, but now we can start taking month to date figures and analytics, and to see whether or not there's any trends that come from that. And ideally what you want to try and do is you want to try and plug some of those trends, if they're negative trends, that is, i.e. there's a dip here every month for some reason. There could be something happening in Warrington that instigates that dip. So is there anything that can be done by us? A competition, a raffle, what all these events and stuff like that. That can maybe lessen that dip. Or it could just coincide with releases or payment trends and stuff like that. You just don't know. But now that we're starting to get those analytics, ideally you want a few months to start to see a real trend, if that makes sense. It is still good to just try and get a heads up on and dig a little bit deeper, right? Super fun stuff for anybody who's into that type of jazz. I do like looking at it. It's a bit more personal now, though, whereas like back in the day when I was working for a massive company, you would just see dips and trends and you kind of be like, now any dip or positive in a trend affects me directly, right? So that's fun. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, last week was good. Hoping for a good start this week. Also over the weekend, I was pinching myself again to put some ideas down on page as to what would I do with a larger space. I also decided to, if you don't know, I love cars, so I have a convertible that I absolutely adore. It's, if you've ever watched the program Wheeler Dealers, in Wheeler Dealers, in one of the seasons from the mid 2010s, I think it was, there's an orange S2000 in Wheeler Dealers. I own that orange S2000, the particular one that was in Wheeler Dealers. It's a leggy car. I love my sports cars. I spend all all my extra money outside of hobby stuff on car stuff when I can. Last year when I came out of work, I had to give up one of my dream cars, which I saved up and purchased. Had to relinquish because it was no longer affordable to run, in all honesty. But I really wanted to keep my S2000 because I adore it. But yeah, it's been left on the drive for a few weeks now. The battery died. Doing a little bit of work on it over the weekend, and I decided to take it for a spin. And the battery is absolutely goosed on it, so that needs replacing. Anyway, I digress. Took it for a spin, and I thought I would go to some places that I wanted to check out to see the square footage in if I could in real life, and also just get an idea of the area and stuff like that. And there was a couple of places I visited, and there was one which was inside like a retail unit with other clubs and a lot of fitness orientated stores like flight equipment and stuff like that. There used to be a few years back another hobby store in there. I won't name them. I've spoke to the owner. He was a really nice guy. He gave me some of the reasons as to why it closed down and that stuff. But you know, that's his story to tell. But you know, looking through their Instagram posts in the past, it looked really popular and really well set up. And I spoke to one of the tenants in there, a really nice lady, and she was telling me about the place. But and it just looked really cool. So again, it's again further planting that seed as to whether or not like a space like that would be good. And I think I might actually reach out to the landlord of that area, because I don't know, there was just I'm not saying every feeling is necessarily a positive one in the long run, but it felt good, if that makes sense. I've not actually seen the unit that is up for rent, so that, you know, the space wise and the pictures that they show online look really good, really healthy. You know, if it has a lot of slat wall in it, and if that stays, that's super helpful when it comes to retail, right? This place had some slat wall in it beforehand, as you can see here, and you know, didn't need to do anything really. It's a bit misaligned slightly, but whatever. It's the first. It's again, it was low risk, came in, and it did the job. But you know, this place looks really good. It's over 1,000 square feet. It's actually about, it's just over 5 times bigger than this place. So you know, this stock currently could comfortably probably fit in half of it, and then the remainder can be like, you know, demo tables, painting area, and you know, another couple of things that I'm thinking about. Plus more stock, right? I'll actually be able to buy more display units of stock, and start storing it as well. Maybe I'm thinking probably way too quickly and far ahead, but again, like I mentioned in previous videos, it's good to think about stuff like this so you're not doing it last minute. Again, if I was to vacate this place, I do need to give advance notice. I've already paid 4 months rent here. I know it doesn't feel like it, even though we've been open 1 month. I've actually had the keys 2 months because we got them on the 1st of May and we weren't open until the very end of May. So, you know, we've been open for June. It's now, we're deep into July. I've already paid in advance for August, and I'll probably pay at the end of this month in advance for September and whatnot. It'll come very, very quickly, if that makes sense. So, yeah, just thinking super deep into that, and I'll give them a buzz, I guess, and see whether or not it's going to become available soon, or whether or not they might be able to hold it for me, or, you know, when's the best time to go and view it, that type of thing. Just kick off that conversation and see where it lands. And then, yeah, I need to start thinking about, like, what type of tables do I get? Do I go for fold-up ones so that I can reconfigure the place if you know, we do end up getting a load of tables? Or do I go for the more workbench, solid type ones? I know there's proper well-made gaming tables, which, you know, go for like £2,000-3,000 a piece. I don't think really they're an option. They might be good for like 1 or 2 rooms if you were to segregate them and have them as like quiet or more focused gaming spaces for like, you know, entire D&D parties, and rent that out for a price. That might be quite cool. Might be something for the future. But I'm talking like, you know, a massive gaming room with loads of tables in to have loads of people in playing, and, you know, get that type of vibe going. That could be. That's probably what the closest thing in my head as to what I'm thinking, because it's stuff I've seen in other places and it seems to work really well. But it'll be something that, you know, to fill out that space is definitely something I want to get into. Don't get me wrong, I don't think having loads of gaming tables is going to bring in a wealth of money. Far from it. It's just like it's the icing on the cake. It's to get people in. It's to build the community and you know, just up the rep of the store, if that makes sense. Again, as usual, I'm rambling. There'll be a new release on Patreon for some free miniatures in the middle of the month. I'm working on them as we speak. Again, you can go into the comments down below. You can throw ideas about any questions you have. I want to hear it, yeah. And if there's, you know, there's any thoughts or feelings that you think might work, you know, could be something for the future, right? So yeah, comment down below. Down below as well, you've got the website address. Jump on there, see what stock we've got, and place your orders. Again, we'll be getting all the new pre-orders every week. EnS Deepkin's just gone up. We've still got some Space Wolves available as of when this video goes live, and later this week there'll be something else which everybody knows about, but I'm not allowed to say it. But you know which big box is coming, so look out for that. Yeah, Patreon, My Mini Factory, any support, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Thanks. Take care. Have fun, and speak soon.